Hello, everybody. Long time no see, or rather, long time no hear. I guess it would be considered as a podcast. But since the last episode that I recorded, there's been different things going on at play, similar to the last two miniseries that I just didn't have time to do my show. I did record a few episodes, but I lost them. Anyways, considering certain circumstances, I might have more time now to focus on my show. I'm going to be running probably a couple of different miniseries in addition to the actual show itself. One of the miniseries in particular is going to be going over my current situation, where I'm at right now with my life. And whether I record episodes daily, weekly, whatever, I'm going to tell everybody what I'm doing and how I'm getting through this particular situation that I'm dealing with. And I'm going to kind of be relying on this show, not just for what those of you who have been listening all along have heard me repeat in almost every episode, that I'm doing this, partially so that as I go through life, I can see how my thought process changed, from when I was younger to now, going through similar situations, as well as, letting others like me realize I'm not alone, and at the same time letting those that don't suffer with mental issues that people like me suffer with, give them a little bit of insight into how our brains work, how our thought processes work, so maybe they can be a little bit more understanding of those in their lives that are sufferers. In addition to that purpose, I'm going to be falling back on this podcast, on my show, to kind of sort of help me from losing my sanity. You'll understand why the more you hear my show. If this is the first time you're tuning in, listen to my older stuff. You'll get a good idea of, the different disorders that I have and different messed up situations I've been through throughout my life already. But you might also see, if you're new to the show, if you've listened to my show all along, you'll be able to pick up on it a little bit easier if you've already heard the older episodes. The style of my show might change a little bit from how it started. Not intentionally, not on purpose. I'm not trying to change things up. It's just, how things are going. I'm not trying to make sure I'm saying things perfectly, or however you want to view that anymore. Whatever mood I'm in, and I decide to record an episode, that's the mood I'm going to be in, and that's probably going to be the mood that dictates how I say what I want to say, and if it comes out the wrong way, well, then it comes out the wrong way. I'm sure those of you that are listening will still understand what it is that I'm trying to say, even if I don't say it the way I would if I was calm and trying to think about what I was trying to say, and did my, 10, 15, 20 retakes before finally publishing an episode. I don't do that no more. Everything, record, publish. Whenever it sounds like it sounds like. If I fucked it up somewhere along the lines, if I said something not the right way, where it could come across the wrong way, not how I meant it, it's whatever. I'll catch it eventually, and I may or may not correct it in the next episode. Anyways, as I said a few minutes ago, thanks to something that just recently happened, which you'll find out about soon enough. I have more time, I think, to do my podcast. I don't know how often it's going to be. Probably won't be daily, but it might go back to weekly or semi-weekly. And you gotta pay attention to the titles of my episodes, because like I said, there's gonna be my regular show. I want to get back to the original show that I started doing before I did the 2 miniseries last year. Well, late last year and early this year. Before I did that, I want to get back to the show, the show, right? But I'm going to keep the miniseries going because I like it, and one miniseries did have a number of listeners. So if you people that are listening to my show like the miniseries and everything that the miniseries of my show entails, I'll keep on doing it. However, one of the miniseries that I'm going to do, there will be 3 episodes, but because of the content I'm going to be discussing on this one particular miniseries, a lot of it is going to be paid. I don't remember what I set the subscription to. It's only a couple dollars. I remember that much. It's only a few dollars a month. If you go to the podcast website, or wherever you're listening to this podcast now, there should be a link in the description of the episode for the show, where you can get the subscription, where you'll get your own private feed on any podcast listening platform. So even if you search the paid content on, say, Apple Podcasts, you're probably not going to find it. But it does not mean that you can't listen to the paid content on Apple Podcasts, if that's the platform you want to listen to it on, because how my subscription plan is set up, you go through the third party, and they will supply you a link directly to the entire podcast, free and paid content, that is just yours. And you plug that into whatever platform you want to listen to it on, including Apple Podcasts, if that's your preferred listening platform. And even though the paid content doesn't show up in the directory, you will have the ability to listen to the paid content on that platform. And it's not that complicated of a process. It's you click on the link, you click on the plan that you want, and then you'll get I think it's 2-step or 3-step instructions of how to do it. Really simple. So if you want to hear all the crazy, messed up, I almost dropped the fucking F-bomb there, but I tried stopping myself to say it anyway. But if you want to hear all the crazy, fucked up shit that's going to be happening in this one particular miniseries, the vast majority of it you're going to need to pay a subscription to listen to. The other miniseries I want to do, as with the regular show, as with the last 2 miniseries, a good part of the other miniseries will be free content, but there might be portions of the series that will be paid. So if you skip over the paid content, you'll have to kind of piece together the gap between the free episodes. There's one particular miniseries I'm going to be doing. I'm sorry, but the vast majority of it is going to be paid because of the stuff I'm going to be talking about. You want to hear it bad enough, you're going to have to pay for it, because I don't feel the subjects I'm going to be discussing should be out there for anybody to be listening to. I mean, I even have the disclaimer on the show at all. Listener discretion advised. Between my language, topics I discuss, it's just not suitable for minors, and the more, triggering stuff is going to be behind that paywall. This way I can feel comfortable that just maybe those that are trigger sensitive with the topics that I talk about, and minors, won't have access to those particular topics. Anyways, I don't want this to run on for too long, so I'm going to end it here. I just wanted to put the word out there. The show's coming back. The show is going to be coming back, as well as a couple mini-series I'm going to be doing inside of the show. So you got to pay attention to the titles of the episode, because if you want to follow a certain series, the regular show will have just regular old normal episode titles. Each of the mini-series will have either at the front of the title or at the ending of the title, will have the name of the series and then the title of that episode of the series. And again, if you're a free subscriber, you're not going to see a whole lot of the one series because it's all paid content. Paid content is hidden from the free feed. Unless you're listening to it on Spotify. If it's on Spotify, you'll still see it, but it'll have the padlock there. You won't be able to listen to it unless you subscribe. Other platforms, you're probably not going to see it unless you subscribe to the paid plan. And then you'll have access to all the paid content, and all the paid content will magically appear in the feed in between all the free content. So that being said, the show is coming back. I'm not sure when the first actual episode is going to be. I just wanted to make an announcement real quick. So this is the announcement, longer than I wanted it to be. The show is coming back with a couple of mini-series. The one mini-series is going to be paid. So after the initial introduction to that series, if it's going to sound like something you want to keep on listening to, you're going to have to get a subscription. Otherwise, there's the other series I'm going to do, as well as the regular show itself. I can't say for sure when the first episode is going to be, but it's going to be soon. So if you're not already following my website, follow the website, show.redconrad.com. Follow it, because I will post there each episode. So if you follow it, you'll get an email that there's a new episode up. Or you can subscribe on your podcast platform, and when a new episode pops up, your podcast platform, I guess, will notify you. On that note, thank you for listening to this longer than I wanted to be announcement that my show is coming back. It's going to be a lot more intense than it was. The miniseries that are coming up are going to be a lot more fun and a lot more interesting than the miniseries earlier this year and the miniseries last year. So yeah, get ready to hopefully be entertained. Some of this shit is going to be funny as hell. Some of this shit you might think is funny as hell. I don't. But you might think so. See you there.